Welcome everybody to Behind the Byline. I'm Savani Babu.
And I'm Sabine K. Bergman.
We're the co-founders of Hidden Compass, and we're here with journalist Rebecca Deurlein, who wrote a beautiful story for our spring 2022 issue about a Native American woman's forced removal from home, her rebellious walk to freedom, and the monument built in her honor and the keepers of her memory. We're excited to talk to you, so thank you for joining us today, Rebecca.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk about it.
Well, we want to start by talking about you, because I want to know what first motivated you to become a journalist.
Well, believe it or not, I was the editor-in-chief of my high school newspaper. So this has been going on a long time. I knew at a very young age that I loved to write. So all through high school, all through college, and immediately after college, I started as a freelance writer. And then had to become an English teacher so that I could make other people love writing as much as I do. So it's kind of been in my blood all along. And weirdly, you know, my 84-year-old mother said to me the other day, "Aren't you tired of writing?" And I'm like, absolutely not. I never get tired of it.
I love that answer because I too was the editor-in-chief of my high school paper. So high school paper nerds unite. I want to talk a little bit about this story because it does touch on some dark history, the Trail of Tears, the erasure of many Native American people, but it's also a story of hope. And given that you're not related to Deurlein, what drew you to tell her story, and why do you think it's important for the rest of us to hear it?
Oh, wow. Because as a student, I always found history to be kind of dry. I could never really embrace my history classes. Textbook descriptions just didn't pull me in. And when I stopped and experienced this wall firsthand, and I sat there listening to Trace tell me about his father building this wall for his great-great-great-grandmother in her honor, talk about making history come alive. It made me feel history. It made me feel what these people went through, what they were put through, and the strength and tenacity that they had to have to try to begin a new life after something so traumatic. So for me, experiencing it, I was in the moment, but after that moment, I thought, I want other people to know what this feels like. I want other people to hear this story because this is the reality of what happened. It's not just numbers, it's people.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about what we do is we get to work with writers like you who help us feel what it feels like to be in these places and to meet these characters and to hear their stories. So it's just such a privilege to be able to publish these stories and to introduce our readers to you and the other human beings behind the articles that we publish. So for those who don't know, Hidden Compass stories we publish alongside patronage campaigns where you have the opportunity to directly support our partnership with the journalist, and we split the proceeds of those campaigns 50-50. The journalist receives their half on top of their article pay. And so this article has come out with a patronage campaign like all of our articles do. So Rebecca, what would you like to say to the folks who have already contributed to your campaign?
I think that probably people who have contributed, and obviously I'm so grateful, I know you're grateful, it's kind of making a statement about where journalism is today and where we want it to go in the future. And it's taking a stand, I would say, for honesty, good storytelling, truth, passing stories on the way they're meant to be passed on versus clickbait and lists and any kind of little trick to get you to read, which is, I find, insulting and irritating. And I think there are a lot of people out there like me who feel the same way, but don't know how they can change it. They feel powerless to change it. And this is one step in that direction. So I know for anybody who has contributed, I'm so grateful. And I think it's important for people to continue to let their voice be heard about what they want to read and what they want journalism to look like.
That's absolutely beautiful. And I will echo your sentiment, Rebecca. We are also grateful. So thank you to everyone who's contributed. Thank you to all of you who are reading and sharing the story. That's also important. And thank you, Rebecca, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.